That's us.
Okay, we're getting recorded. It's nearly started. We forgot last week, so we're quite proud of ourselves this week. Okay, so let's go. Updates this week. SimSpot endorsed the free training. We're going to have a little look at it and what you get for it. How can you? There's a session. There's a very, very quick bit on looking after worried customers. It's basically a way of trying to work with them. Viewing a full working plan. So amazingly enough, we've actually had some best practice. Someone's actually sent something in. Get in. So we're going to use it. It's amazing. It's brilliant, and it's given us some more stuff to think about, which is the reason why I'd love it if other people could have done this. People do keep. I've had a few people saying, "Why are you stopping them?" And one of the main reasons is that it's not best practice. It's Craig's practice. If I had more information coming in, and I'd definitely share it. But so let's get this sorted out. And there's a little explanation about the government visits. Not much, but just a little quick overview. So there's no map updates this week. Remember the map? That was a thing of the past. That's where we started. That's where we put the plan into place, and we started looking at making you think about all the different areas of the business. But there's nothing extra to get added to the map this week. So there's an amazing new campaign. Now I can see by some of the people that we've got on that we've got some Welsh people on, we've got some Northern Irish people on, and we've also got some Scottish people on. I do apologise because this isn't for you. Unfortunately, this training was funded by Sport England. Wales, Northern Ireland and Scotland weren't asked, I don't think, to come into it. So it's unfortunately, it's not for you, and it doesn't look like it's going to be. But let me give you a little run through of what you get for it if you're in England. So what you get, it's a platform. It's basically a training platform. And what they're going to do is they're going to drop some COVID training on there. So there'll be a little video on there about how to wash your hands. There'll be a video about what's the 4 symptoms you need to look for, etc., etc. So they're going to build it all into this platform. The platform is free for 12 months. I've got some questions about that, which ideally you should really know before you go into that particular deal. But the platform is that it's there for most staff. So when I say most staff, so the training is mainly for 6 job roles. It's for duty manager, wet side, dry side, gym, group X, and cleaners. There's not management training as such in there. So I asked them if there was any sort of leadership or senior management stuff, and they said there's nothing at the minute planned to go in there for that. So what they're going to do, there's 2 types of training you can book on for each one of these job roles. There's a refresh, which is job basics. And then there's Reactivate, which is the COVID stuff that we've been going through to get them ticked off. Now, I know a lot of you, we've been saying this for the last couple of weeks, I know a lot of you have probably already trained your staff. So I should imagine you're now made up. You found out that they were doing something free all along, that they kept quiet. A little bit frustrating, but hey, it's out there now. Well, when I say now, we don't know when you can start training yet, but I'll come on to that in a second. Now, again, the refresh jobs, I just asked them. So I've had a chat with Future Fit who are involved in this, and they're the fitness experts in this. So the idea behind it is that I asked them, what does refresh consist of? And that was about, refreshing the job knowledge of what they'll need to know. So I asked, what did it go into? Does it go into the likes of, they haven't written a program for 4 months. Is it got to cover program writing? And he was like, no, it's only doing the basics. So I'm not quite sure what the job basics are, because I don't think it mentions touching kit or writing programs or prescribing or correcting or anything like that, or nutrition. So I'm not quite sure what's going to be involved in that. And also the Reactivate is basically the stuff that you may have already done with Alliance Leisure, Right Directions, who are also involved in this, or with LeisureNet, because they've obviously been doing all the European active stuff as well. There's other benefits. So you can apparently this is the only system that you can do compliance reporting on that will actually tell you who's done the training and what score they got. I believe there are other systems out there, but from their perspective, it's the only one that's available, which is fine. You'll be able to upload your own training to this. Now, this is where we've got to be careful that we don't become too reliant on it, just in case you don't want to purchase it after the 12 months. I'll go on to prices, etc., in a minute. You can do newsletters. Now, I asked if you can do them for customers. They said they can, but that part of the module is not turned on for this. But in the future, if you wanted to purchase it, then you would be able to do it with your customers. But for now, you'll be able to do newsletters for staff, the staff who sign up for it. It can be used for internal communications. So that's another platform you can use for that, which is great. And you can have as many admins as you like. So in terms of, you're going to need people to coordinate and get people through the training to understand it. So I should imagine they're going to do some admin training, but if you wanted 2 or 3 per site, then that would be fine. If you wanted 1 per site, that would be fine. If you wanted 1 per organization, that would be fine. So the admin side of things is absolutely and utterly not a problem. There was a couple of questions that didn't get answered, which I thought were quite important. Now, one of these is, how much will the system be after 12 months? So the last thing I'd want to do as an operator is I wouldn't want to start using this system and get my whole team involved in it and throwing all my training into it, unless this was the product I was going to be using going forwards. Now, it may well be that tool, but in order to know that, I think you're probably going to need to know the price and the pricing structure. Now, I asked them, now they're already using this product, but they can't give us a price. So I'm not sure how or why, but I'm sure it'll come out soon. Surely before you sign up, you have to have this knowledge. I believe 160 organisations have already signed up, and they won't know that knowledge, but I'm just fearful for them, so just be careful. The second question was, when can they actually start training the staff? No confirmed dates, but soon-ish. So what was said is that will depend on how quick organisations come back to us with the lists of people who want to come on. So I said, how did he get that information? Because 160 odd have signed up and they haven't received anything yet. I only know that because I've signed up myself. And he said, well, something's going to be getting sent out on Monday. So I said, if you sent it out Monday morning, if I sent it back Monday afternoon, when would I be able to start? And he said, it depends. And I said, look, I'm a one-man band. It's just me and my team. And he said, I don't really want to put a date on it or a time scale. So I said, thank you. That really helps. So these two questions I can't get answered yet. I have asked FutureFit if they can send us an answer for these, and if we can update you. And I've also asked SimSpar if they've got an answer to this. Because I haven't actually seen the system. I was meant to have a demo yesterday. We talked through it, but I didn't actually see anything. So I don't know what it physically looks like, but it may be the tool we need for the industry. I don't know. But all I'd say to anyone is just make sure that you're aware of what that price is before you start becoming reliant on it. It's meant to be an amazing tool. But if it's an amazing tool you're not going to use going forward, don't get reliant on it if you can't afford it. Okay. So that's that. Now, worried customers. So in terms of worried customers, now there's all the different studies have been done. We look at the LeisureNet stuff that they've done. They've got about 47,000 for swimmers, for parents of swimmers, and they've also got it's about 110, 120,000 or something daft. We've got a load of information, and the information tells us that some of our customers are worried about coming back, and some of them just can't wait to get back. Now, I know the difference between me and my wife is that my wife is very, very worried about COVID. She doesn't want to die from it, and I don't particularly want to die from it myself, and I don't want to pass it on to my parents, etc., and things like that. But we seem to have slightly different views on it, where I'm a little bit more relaxed and she's a little bit more worried. So I was speaking to Dave Olstead from UK Active. So this isn't a UK Active thing, but it was something that Dave mentioned, and I thought that's brilliant. And what it basically is that obviously when we send our communications to the customers, we ask them where are they? Are they worried about coming back, or are they fearful of COVID and how close people are going to get, or are they okay with it? Now, the idea behind it is that we give them a band. So if they're happy, they have a green band. If they're a little bit worried, they have a red band. Now, a receptionist in a queue can know how to deal with those people based on their fears or their worries. Or you might have the person who's on the door, and they can make excuse me, if you can just step back, obviously, because we can see that this lady's got a red band on. Now, I might come in and think I'm a red band, which is absolutely amazing, and I'm a little bit worried and everyone's scared of me. And then I realise, you know what, it's absolutely fine here. They're cleaning it, everything's great. I turn the band round, and going forward, I'm now green. So I just thought this was one of the most simple measures or things that we could do that would absolutely allow us to adapt to the needs of our customers. in a very, very, very simple way. So as much as this is such a simple tool, I just think it's absolutely amazing. I like the fact that you can get the bands with, these are actually called mood bands, but you actually get the bands so that they've got the colours on both sides. That way you only need one band and you don't need to give them two as they move through this process. But I thought that was amazing, so that's cool. Right, this next one, someone sent me best practice, like I said before. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you an actual plan. So this is the Phoenix group. This is all the people who are working for this particular organisation, and these are the ones who need to take all the tasks on. I would probably say that these end up being the unfurloughed people. Now, obviously, they all have different responsibilities, so they've broken it down on ICT, cashless, direct debits, portal, online stuff, etc., etc. So they started distributing jobs out, which is amazing. Then we go on to master actions. Now, there's a couple of things in here which are brilliant. Ensure your hygiene contractors, nappy, lady bins, all that type of stuff. Are they booked in? Are they booked in from when? Are they booked in from August? Are you going to call, there's a high likelihood, if you've read the newspapers, that there's going to be an announcement today, and we could be opening very, very soon. I'll say that bit when we get there. But will the hygiene contractors turn it round in under 3 or 4 days? Is really what I'm saying. Because let's say, for instance, you need to be in, you could open on Monday, then would your nappy bins and everything be available and cleaned and all booked in? What they've done a little thing here, waste bins. So they realise they're going to need more waste bins, and they need to be foot operated. So I thought that was a really, really good pitch. That's good. Hand dryers are not allowed to be used because it'll push the COVID round. So you need to make sure that there's hand towels there instead. Genius, love it. And what you can see with these is you can see that this is when they've done it for the organisation, and then this is when they've done it for each of the sites over here. So you can see these sites have been done for this, and this particular one hasn't. But the idea behind it is it's just really, really clever and really, really good. Door openers with hands and feet. I spoke about this very early on. So I'm assuming that you've all ordered your door openers so they can be open. I have this bugbear every time I go into the spa. I've got to touch the handle like everyone else. Why don't they just wedge the door open? Just wedge the door open, and that door it's probably the biggest touch point in the whole of their site. And I know they probably said they were going to wipe it like we've said we're going to wipe stuff, but they haven't. See how we go. But so the next bit, now this is a big issue. This is the air handling aircon usage. So what they're basically saying is, I was listening to Radio Wales last night. There was a chat on about getting the leisure centres back, and Tanny Gray and Steve Ward from Newport, etc., were all on there. And this is causing a little tiny bit of an issue in the fact that there's been some studies about the air conditioning pushing it around in restaurants. So it's about trying to make sure that doors are open, windows are open. The air conditioning's been switched so it gives more fresh air than it does existing air. Exactly like we covered in all the early stuff that when we did the session on the air handling units. But again, brilliant. We can see they're doing something about it. I love that. There's loads more other stuff. I've tried just to pick out a few bits and pieces that we may not have discussed yet. So staff uniform, they've ordered some extra t-shirts. It says please keep your distance on them. And the reason why they've ordered more t-shirts is so because they've got to have different clothing on each day. So I thought that was very, very clever again. Really, really good. There's certain, depending on when you're going to open by, your casual furloughs, you're going to need to confirm them very, very, very soon. So I thought that was a good one. Opening times. So this was something that we did cover. It was about the admission policy for under 8s. Most organisations with swimming pools, 8 is the admission policy for kids who can go in on their own. And the reality behind that is that these kids are not we know that this age group's not very good at social distancing. So you may want to change that to 14, 16 or whatever it is for a short period of time. But I just love the fact that they're on it. They're absolutely on this and all over it. A few other little bits and pieces. So staff rotas for cleaning. We'll need all staff to become cleaners. Clean team, ensure cleaning every 3 hours. So what I like about this is they've been very, very prescriptive. They're saying every 3 hours things will get cleaned. It's like if you're saying doors are going to get wiped, how often are they going to get wiped? How often are you going to wipe the desks? If it's just once a day, then it's probably back to normal, aren't we? But we've got to have a plan. And here, I love this. They had a 106-page manual for cleaning in their organisation. I saw an organisation the other day who had a 3-page one. So yeah, but again, cleaning check sheets to be revised. You know, we can't use the old stuff because it wasn't working beforehand. So I love that. Brilliant, great touch points again. Waste disposal. So what they said about waste disposal is originally they were talking about, do we need to have a holding area? Well, you'll only need a holding area if there is a COVID outbreak. So I love the fact that that's already built into their plan. And I love the fact that they're already doing walkthroughs to send to different people in the organisation. Now, when different people see them, they see different things. So it's fine me walking through my site because I know where I'm going and what I'm doing and what's going to happen. But other people from the outside looking really gives us fresh eyes. So I love the fact that they've already started putting the videos together and send them to different parts of the team to see what else they can pick up on. Now, there's loads of other stuff I could have talked about in here. Like they're saying here, no walk-ins, everything is booking only, no new memberships. Well, they've got to communicate that, which is absolutely fine. And obviously these are well prepared to do so. This is stuff what people were talking about, but they've actually made the decision and they're going with the props, the great stuff. So this is good. And they're also going for a call centre approach of one receptionist. Now, this person might be able to work from home. They might have to work in the office, whatever it may be. So they've got to work out how that will work. If the person on the phone can work from home, that will stop them getting dragged into other bits and pieces and mean that we'll definitely be able to answer more phone calls. So what I love about this is it's a live, ongoing plan. And they've got their ideas and they've got the thoughts and they've got where they are. There's a few timelines that they've got. So obviously, you know, some of these aren't getting hit now. There's a few things that the head of leisures had to look at and speak to in the groups, and you know, people wanted to sort of have his ear for a little tiny bit. Again, they put a few more considerations, and they've got the building ops check, they've got marketing stuff, they've got the RLSS plans and what they're going to be doing, and they've got some. What I love, this is some real life plans. So this just starts to give them some other stuff that they're going to take into account as and when it's open. So again, it's an amazing tool. This is from Link for Life. If you don't know Link for Life, the head of leisure for them, Andy King and Chris Coleman and John Martin, they're sort of like the number twos. They're really, really good. They're probably one of the first organisations I spoke to. They'd already started doing a plan before I spoke to them, which was well before I started doing these webinars. So these have had the finger on the pulse right from the off. So thank you very much for sharing best practice. Amazing. Thank you very much. So there's been a couple of new updates this week. Swim Wales guidance is finally out. Yeah, so the return to water, that got updated yesterday. So for any Welsh organisations, if you haven't found that, that is now on the Welsh Hub. Northern Ireland yesterday agreed to UK Actives guidelines, so they said that they're going to follow them, which is absolutely fine. I think we're putting those guidelines in the follow-up email as well for any of the Northern Ireland people. But they're the only two real bits of guidance. There's nothing new in the Swim Wales guidance. It just backs up everything that was said from the Swim Institute and Swim England and Swim Scotland and most of the stuff that's in the STA. So yeah, there's nothing through scanning through it. There's nothing really different. It's just Welsh. It's just the Welsh version of it, so that's fine. Now the government visits. The government did these. Probably should have put it back into this, but yeah, the government visits. They went to a trust. They went to a private premium. They went to a private low cost. They went to a local authority or public, and they also went to a boutique. Now, the only reason I'm saying this is because obviously England seems to be a little tiny bit further ahead. And I don't think the Welsh governments, obviously Northern Ireland are even further ahead, but the Scottish and the Welsh haven't done this yet, and it may be something that will help them to get open a little tiny bit quicker. So I just thought I'd let you know the types of sites that they use to try and give a full rounded view of our industry. And I'm sure, I know this was mentioned after the Welsh comments last week by Mark Drakeford, saying that we're not ready and it's dangerous. We know it's not, and I think maybe I know some people have said, well, come and have a look then. But they're the sites that they'd be having a look at. Now, are you really ready? Has anyone read the paper today? Indoor gyms seem set to reopen within days as lockdown eases. Boris Johnson is set to give gyms the green light to reopen within days, provided they take measures to slow the spread of COVID. Well, we've already proved to the government in England with those visits that how we're going to spread it, and they seem happy with it. So when they were happy with retail, they had the conversation on the Thursday or the Friday, and they were allowed to open on the Monday. Also, I don't know whether you've seen this, which they're plastering everywhere. Now, they haven't put this into guidelines. No one has. No one's actually put into guidelines that you've got to wear a mask. And they try to play with it with that 1 meter plus, haven't they? Because they say if you can't stay 2 meters, you can go 1 meter as long as you've got another preventative measure, and like a mask or turning your back or walking past someone quick. The only thing that is constantly there in every single one of those messages is a mask, but they're still not telling you have to wear a mask as guidance. So you don't have to protect your staff or your customers. But if you want to follow all the news reports from all the other countries that have done well, where they use them, then please do it. So yeah, I've been saying this from the off. Just get a bleeding mask on, please. Make sure you look after your staff and make sure you sell them to your customers so they can wear them. I'm not expecting to wear them when they're full blast on a treadmill, but as soon as they come off the treadmill, you can pull it back up again and stop wounding people with it, because we know it's the breath around that's going to cause the issues. So what I'm really saying with this is, are you ready if they said you've got 7 days? If they said you've got 7 days, are you ready? If they said you've got 5 days, are you ready? If they said you've got 4 days, are you ready? Because that's what it's likely to be. Not the 3 weeks that we've been asking for. Not one industry has had the amount of time that they've asked for. So, awfully sorry. Yeah, just get yourself ready now, right now. I'm assuming that this will move on Scotland and Wales as well, because their dates will start to kick in afterwards. But there's a high likelihood there was meant to be a chat yesterday. We believe that chat's going to go ahead today. So we believe that the information backed on these, because the papers obviously find out before the gyms do, which is brilliant. Not that it gets leaked, but it must get leaked to someone, mustn't it? Because they know, or someone knows something. Unless this is totally wrong and it's not going to happen. But hey, wait for the chat today. Right, I just want to take this time to thank you lovely people who've managed to jump on and keep me busy for the last couple of months now. Bloody hell, it is months, isn't it? So I've done about 500 plus hours of work in all the stuff that I've been doing. I've got 230, lots of amazing feedback from you lovely people. I've had over 4,000 views and over 450 hours worth of watching on YouTube, which is great. Over 1,500 participants from 520 organisations, and I hope you've enjoyed it. I didn't ask my original question at the beginning, I sort of forgot, but I am going to do the poll of how have you found the session. I've done this all the way through. I'm not going to stop now, but this is just to find out what people are thinking and what they're finding of these particular things. Like I said before, this will be the last one. It'll definitely be the last weekly one, or guaranteed one. I might do an ad hoc one if some dodgy information comes out. It could come out today, so you never know. But in general, yeah, thank you very much. The scores and stuff that you've been giving me have been absolutely great. The fact that I'm not going to be doing those things doesn't mean I'm not willing to help. So just send me an email. It's craig@ccleisuresolutions.com. You can get hold of me on social media. I'm on LinkedIn. I've got a Facebook page. I've got a LinkedIn business page. I've got a few Twitter. I've got a few different ways you can get hold of me. If any of you have enjoyed what I've done and you'd like to write a review of my website, then there's going to be a link in the follow-up email so you can do it. If you want to put something on LinkedIn or a review on Facebook, again, that's absolutely fine. From my perspective, at no stage would any of this been possible without Dornan. So I think we need to give Dornan a massive, massive, massive round of applause for helping over these last 13 or 14 weeks or whatever it's been now. I couldn't have done it without her. She's, as I say, she was the first person I went to, and every week she's the first person I speak to. And because of Dornan, we've now got a hub set up in Scotland to make sure there's one place to go for everything. We've got one set up for Wales. It's going really, really well. getting really good feedback for it. And she's allowed me to keep doing these, and she's been my little aid on the side. So yeah, please give her a shout out in anything that you do as well, because that would be much, much, much appreciated. Now, Dawn, I'm coming to you after I've just praised you, mate. So you can't see her, but she's bright red. So that's all good. So we're going to go to the questions and just see what questions are there and what you know.
Yep, here we go. So, Shan's been an absolute legend in terms of always providing some feedback through to us. So, it was to do with obviously the training platform that you talked about for SimSpa, and she's just saying, is there any options to pay for it now, given that it's not available in Wales? And obviously that's sort of applicable in Scotland as well, Craig.
Yeah. Well, okay, Sean. So the training, I believe that the training that's going on there is done by Right Directions. Well, you can buy Right Directions training for £1 on COVID. I don't know whether you've seen that. There's also Alliance who are doing this. So yes, you can definitely pay to get your staff COVID trained. Now, what this thing is that they're doing is they're trying to give you a system whether you need it or not, because this system in the future will do everything. So yes, of course, you can still pay for it. You can still get it. You just won't get that system. I'm looking at other stuff for Scotland and Wales already anyway. So if you can just leave that with me for the other nations, I'm more than happy to try and do the same thing like we've done with the hubs to make sure we can do something. We may even join Scotland and Wales together if that's something that they'd be interested in going forward. But yeah, of course we can do that. Dawn, any others?
Yep, one in from Simon. He was asking, do you plan to do any train the trainer sessions for conflict training that managers, duty officers can attend, and then possibly cascade down to like the gym staff and lifeguards, etc.?
Yeah, well, I'm having a conversation with Alliance Leisure today, or TA6, and the reason being is because we've quickly realised that no one's looking to train this COVID manager. So every site has to have a COVID manager, but no one's training the COVID manager how to manage COVID. We're happy to train we're happy to do all the bum ticking, the box ticking, and the bits and pieces to make sure all the staff are covered and we can't get sued. We're definitely going to do that bit, but as per normal, we're not going to teach people how to manage the process. So I've got a chat today. I'm hoping that we can put something together. Like I've said, I do a course already on conflict. It is a full day's course. It's very, very deep. It's because I joke and say it's for life, not just for Christmas or COVID. That type of thing may be part of the package of what we offer. I think what we're probably going to look to do is probably put 2 or 3 days worth of work on where these people come out to site, get themselves genned up to the hilt, and then go back and roll it out to the rest of the teams. So hopefully that helps you, Simon. But if not, just send me an email and I'm sure I'm happy I can do something for yourself, mate. No problem.
That's all the questions, Craig. We've had lots of thanks coming in from everyone, so thank you all for coming along and attending and contributing. So yeah, Craig's done great, hasn't he?
We've done all right. We've done okay. We're just trying to help. But yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed it. Thank you very much for your time, your questions, nearly your best practice, and your bits and pieces. But what was that? That was a thank you. I thought we had another question then, but it was just a thank you. But there's like a little thank you-a-thon kicking in at the bottom.
Yeah, Shan just asked about, the conflict training the trainer would be great, and COVID manager training. So she's just sort of saying, get in touch and let me know what kind of package you're going to put together on it.
Yeah. I may put something on. I may put a workshop or something on LinkedIn. So just keep an eye out. All I'd say is that if you haven't sort of signed up in LinkedIn either to me or to my business page, that's where I tend to put stuff. I'll also put it on the Facebook and Twitter. But they're the places where I'll put all my stuff. Now, again, this isn't all about me. So the reality of it is that something will definitely go out on those forums. If we can try and get SimSpa or UK Active involved or anything like that, then of course we will, like we have all the way through this. But yeah, perfect. Thanks very much for your time. If anyone's got any feedback, please just put it on my website or on Dawn Ann's or whatever it may be. And we've enjoyed it just as much as you. Thank you very much, peeps. Good night.
Bye-bye.
So